is I will love and respect my body. So 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20 says, "Don't you realize that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. So you must honor God with your body." I know we have a lot going on, and self-care is so vital. Not only is it important, but it is literally biblical, as we see here. So I would encourage you, moms, to do what you have to do to take care of yourself. I know the Starbucks and the Target runs and the shopping, the spa days, that all sounds good, and I can sure use it right about now. But remember that taking care of your body is not just those things, but it's the whole self, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So I encourage you, mom, to do the things that you have to do, even if it's uncomfortable. Drink the water, get your body moving, do the things that will keep you well-rounded as an individual, and honor God with your body. You got this, mama.
Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Dr. Fred. Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. Hope everybody had a great week. Yeah, so I'm playing the background of this video. Hold on. Anyway, welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live. I have my special guest, my niece, the author, Tamarra Renee Holt. Hey, mama, you got this. 21-day starters for moms. So welcome, Tamara or
Hey
niece.
there, Dr. Fred. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. So when you come in, make sure you click like and click share and just let us know how your week has been. Um, and for me, my week went by pretty fast. Today, I allowed somebody to clean my house, a company. I hired a company. And when they walked in, they were like, "Oh, your place is already clean."
Right. But
Yes, but self-care, and I hear you talking about that all the time. And so introduce yourself. I mean, well, tell us how your week has been first, and then we'll get into that part.
guys, my week has been calm, actually. However, I know I've been in my head this week, but I've been pretty much chill all week. Not much going on. So it's been a pretty good week.
So we like those weeks. We like those. We like those. But yes, when you guys come in, let us know. Send us a message on how your week has been. Um, yeah. And so tonight we're going to be talking about, hey, mama, you got this 21-day starters for moms. Hey, Karen, you got home fast.
Thank you, Karen.
So that's where you'll see the questions. They'll pop up down there and we'll discuss those. So we're a pretty good crowd. We chill. There's no fancy stuff going on. Hey, Donna.
Hey, Aunt Donna.
So yeah, we just talk and so tonight we want to focus on moms. We want to focus on what is motherhood, and we want to talk to Tamara about her book and how she got started, and what does it mean to, hey, Jenny, and what does it mean to be a mom and all of those things. Hey, Lois, see
Hey,
the
Aunt Lois.
fam is in. All, so yeah, so how has your week been? Hey, Chris,
Hey,
how
Daddy.
has how has your week been? Let us know that from the start. We kind of told y'all what our week has been looking like. Um, Tamara, I saw you smile when I said I hired a cleaner, a house.
You know what? Might be confirmation because I've been thinking about doing it. My house is not like it usually is. I'm kind
Mm-hmm.
of this a little control issues, a little
Uh
bit.
huh. Uh huh.
Um, feel like I need somebody to come in here and just clean it from top to bottom one good time to give
Yep.
me a give myself a break. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for
Yep.
doing.
That's what I did. But then I still came home. I was like, well, what did they do? Is it? But
Look,
anyway,
have you ever cleaned for the cleaner before they got there?
I did. I had to tell myself to stop. I was
Look,
like, I left a little bit of stuff like on the floor, just to
like
for
something
that
for
purpose. that I can check to see if if they actually clean.
That's true.
So Donna says this week was a rough one. Oh, I hope it gets better, or enjoy your weekend.
Right.
Lois says it's been a great week, just chill, good. Karen says hello, Brockington family. Jenny says she's been busy. Donna, you say we do that all the time. Yeah, good. Yeah, make sure you enjoy your weekend. Self
Yes.
care is very, very, very important.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So how's the weather in Virginia? How's
It's hot today. Um, what is it? 97.
oh,
It's
let's
really it's burning up out there.
let's see
It's
what it is in Atlanta. Didn't even. Yeah, so when you come in, y'all, make sure y'all click share um, on the video so that everybody can know that it is live. You can actually go to your phone and do it now, um, or your computer, whatever you're on, and share the video. And we will get started at 8:40, which is like 2 minutes from now. Laura said, "Beautiful under
yeah,
the AC." Yeah,
cold in my house. Well, it stays cold in my house all year, but it's cold.
you sound like you sound like me. That's why I can't keep playing.
Yeah.
Karen says, "I promise you that the house cleaner would say, what is that? Say the opposite when they walked into my place. They would earn their pay." I just don't want anybody to come in and like, he nasty.
I know, right? Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Good
Mhm.
stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Okay, we got 1 minute and then we will get started on Hey Mama, You Got This 21-day starters for moms. And you know what? I didn't even know you were writing a book. You
Really? Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
yeah.
I just popped out with a book, huh?
Uh-huh. I was like, oh, oh. I was like, okay. Because I went to our cousin's book signing. He did a book on childcare. He's been on the show. Uh your
All
dad says Tamara's house will give you frostbite. It's so cold. I'm the same way.
right, oh, I get hot. Hey, mom, too. Yeah, I
Oh,
get
hey
hot.
sis.
I have to keep it cold.
I have to too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would be
Hey,
up all night. Hey Kelly, my sister from another mother.
hi, Kelly.
And Jenny's starting already with her questions. So it's 8:40 and we are going to start. So I'm going to introduce my niece, the author of Hey Mama, You Got This 21-day starters for moms. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you got started in writing the book.
Okay, so hey everybody, my name is Tamarra Holt. I am Dr. Dare's niece. I am a mom. I'm a wife, newly published author. I'm a right. I love learning. I love God. I love to sing, and yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And I like to have fun and eat. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that part. And so you have a husband and two little boys?
Yes, I have two little boys, Ethan and Caleb. Caleb is 2, and Ethan is about to be 6 in 2 weeks.
Six?
Believe it, 6 years old.
Wow.
6
Wow.
years old. So
Wow.
2 boys. I'm a boy mom, and I stay busy.
Okay, so tell us a little bit, not a lot about the book because we want people to go out and purchase it, but
Right.
tell us a little bit about how you got started writing actually. Or what made you decide to write a book?
Really, oh, it's a lot to it.
Hmm.
But just basically, really, even before I became a mom, I've had a little struggle with trying to like figure out, okay, how can I really start my day with God? I wasn't really consistent with it.
Hmm.
But so I became a mom that I realized how important it was to kind of set the tone for my day. Because with being a mom, you get presented with so many challenges. The kids, you don't know how they're going to act from day to day, especially with them being boys, and
Hmm.
especially going from 1 to 2 in a pandemic. yeah, I'm like, well, my mind is already all over the place. I got all this
Mhm.
thing, so I was like, hey, I need something for myself first. What can I do for myself as a mom that will really help me to really hone in on how I start my day so that I can have
Okay.
mindset and I can go and face the challenges without losing it or going down a downward spiral. So I decided, hey, I can make a tool that will help moms just like me to start their day. And when the challenges present themselves, okay, we can think back on the affirmation that we read in the book, we can think back on the scripture that we read in the book, or our time with God that we had in the prayer time in the book. So that's pretty much.
Good. And so what that is called in therapy is a coping skill. So you've created this book that allows moms to cope with day-to-day challenges. And because I'm sure, and you can, and let me know if I'm wrong. What you're having is like sometimes negative self-talk, and you're having those negative self-talks all the time, and they make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Anytime we have negative self-talk, it's always a negative thing towards us. So, do you remember having a lot of negative self-talks as a new mom and a mom in general?
Um, yeah, as a mom in general, of course, I compare myself to other moms. It's that natural comparison that tries to creep in and overtake everything, like steals the joy out of motherhood. Because you're thinking, okay, is my child reading enough? Am I spending enough time with the child? Am I doing this right, that right? So that comparison definitely caused me to think negatively about myself and, think that I wasn't good enough, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah.
And I'm sure it's difficult being a mom. You guys have humans, you have miniature humans. Men can't do that. And so it is a big duty. So in therapy, the mom gets blamed a lot. Blamed for like people's problems. Your mom did this growing up. Your mom did that's a lot of pressure. Is that the pressure that you kind of feel like you don't want to be responsible for the downfall of your children or
I think that, I think as society, we automatically look to the mom when something's wrong with the child. I don't
mhm
know that way, but it's just what it is. When the child is not acting right, they look at the mom like, what are you doing with the child? Or, even with the house, like the house not clean, they're looking at the mom like, well, what are you doing? The child's
mhm
they're looking straight at the mom like it's just the mom's responsibility. So it can be weighty. It's very challenging. So
So what would you say is your like number one if you had to look back over like and look back over your motherhood, what is the most thing that challenged you?
I think it was, pouring so much out to my children. And I think it's like when you have a child, you naturally have this feeling where you got to just give, 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 give to your child. And it's like you're losing yourself in the process because you forget that I have needs and there's things that I want to do and accomplish. And literally, when you have children, your life is altered, whether you like it
Right.
or not. So,
Right.
I left the whole job for my children. I left a
Right.
job I can balance my family so that I can even have another child. A 8-year good career. But you can kind of lose yourself in pouring so much and you forget to pour back into yourself. Um,
Mhm.
Especially with myself being a person where I wasn't the most organized. I get stuff
Mhm.
done. Um, for somebody else, but for myself, I wasn't the most organized. So I wasn't putting in time to like, sit in my thoughts, or
Mhm.
to mindful and just sit there, or take care of myself or get my nails done or whatever. I wasn't, I didn't think about scheduling that in my routine. So when when the one kid came and then the two kids came, it was just like, okay, now I'm all over the place. But my priority is just making sure they're good and I'm
Mhm.
so
And so that's how you feel like you lost yourself is because
yeah.
you poured everything into the kids.
Mhm.
How did it feel to leave your job? Like what was that
It was
emotion?
hard. Of course, you get different opinions from different people who you've consulted about it or talked to about it. Um,
Mhm.
but I felt like I was doing the right thing. I did feel proud of myself. It didn't make me feel like I was losing my identity because I'm still Tamara, regardless of where I work.
Mhm.
So proud that I made a decision for my children, and I think that was being a good mom.
Okay.
So
Okay. Any questions out there, guys? Because I can ask questions all day. That's what I do in therapy. I take my little pen, listen for things and things like that. So,
I'm loving it already. I like your perspective with the mental health thing. So I might need to
okay.
bring you on to talk to the because mental health is a big deal with moms. Like
It is,
it
and I
is a
see it all the time where moms just kind of lose their self in that role, and we all have social identities.
right.
We're like me, like you're a mom, you're a daughter, you're a wife, and you're a singer. Those are all your social identities. But sometimes what happens is when those identities clash, that's
Mm,
when things become problematic in our lives, and people don't. This is what I did my dissertation on, the intersectionality theory, where sometimes when those things clash, that's when things become problematic. Look at an African American. They're fine if they're in the African American community, but when they go out and they try to be a president,
hmm
or that role clashes with their their black identity, their identity as a president. But if you just sat back and did nothing, you'd be fine. But when you start intersecting all of those social identities, that's when things become problematic.
Yeah.
And so your aunt says, "Do you want any more kids? Is that on hold now for you?" Good question.
I don't know. Um, if we had another child, it would be a surprise. It wouldn't be on purpose. We'll just put it that way.
Okay.
I'm not trying to have another child.
So what is some advice that you give wanted to give like to new moms, like when they just starting, like they're having their first child?
Give yourself the same grace that God gives us. Like you don't know it all. You're not gonna get it perfect, and your child's gonna be okay. I promise you. I would also tell a new mom to get comfortable really quick with asking for help because when you have a child we know about postpartum. Well, you don't really know until you really experience it. But we want to get ahead of it and know, okay, I may be in a place where mentally I just don't want to ask nobody for help. I want to be closed off. So I would say, line up your support system before you have that child, or ask for help. That's
Mhm.
because you can't do it all. I know that, as moms, we wear this cape and it's like, I don't know what it is or why, but it's like we have to do it all. And if we get help, then we're less than, or,
Mm.
we're not enough because this person's helping me a little much, or man, I just need help every day. Because sometimes I feel
Mhm.
that every day. Well, I need a break every day. That's
Mhm.
get the break you need and ask for the help that you need. It's okay. It's normal.
Yes. And that's why you're raised in a family to get help and friends. That's why you have, we
Right.
call it a social, a support network, and you want to
Right.
make sure that you have a strong social support network.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other questions out there? So, can you give us a few of the affirmations you have in your book, or
Yes.
not
So,
a lot of them, because we want them to buy the book.
right. So, the first one, I mean, people have posted the first one. This is day one. Looks kind of, I try to make it pretty so we will have something good to look at. So, this is a big one. Today, I cancel worry and I lean into prayer. Um, this one's really big. Um, Me as a mom, many of my mom friends, I think that, it's something innate in us that just causes us to just worry about everything. Is our child being fed enough? Did I clean them good enough? Are they sleeping long enough? Or are they getting too much sleep? It's just like worry, 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 like tries to consume our thoughts when we have a new child because it is a new experience.
Mhm.
And it'll forever be a new experience. As they're growing, we're learning. As they're learning us, we're learning them. It's just new, and it's going to be a challenge. However, I feel that, we can find comfort, we can find guidance, and we can find solace when we actually pray. He actually hears what we tell him. It's not just you're just talking to yourself and there's no response. Like when you pray and you believe what you're praying and you consistently do it, like God is hearing you, he's with you, and he will carry you through. So I really do love that affirmation. I think that's why I put it first. Like prayer is essential, because you will worry. But the Bible says to shape your worries into prayers. So in exchange, I believe that God will give us peace. So
Okay. So
love
what were
that.
some of the things that you worried about a lot? Like what was the common themes that you worried about just to help moms out there that may be like, well, she doesn't know, but I'm going, but I, you know what I mean?
I
If
don't
you
think
want to share.
I don't think the worry has ended. I think as long as we're in the flesh, we will have struggles. I'm nobody's perfect, nobody's a superhuman. Like, regardless if you have God, whatever, like you're still gonna worry. I think that's the point of him being there.
Hmm.
So I think that, sometimes I have some extreme worry sometimes. Like, if my child is away from me, I'm like, is somebody gonna hurt them? As soon as I walk
Hmm.
out the front door, I'm like, is my child gonna run in the street? Those thoughts consume me sometimes. And I have to say,
Hmm.
hey, God, please, like, help me. Like, Lord, I give that to you. You can handle it. You take care of my child. You are their God. And I accept your peace today. So
Hmm.
I constantly, this is often, I have to constantly, like, give my worries to God. Like, hey, like, I'm going to just let you be God. And I'm going to be mom. And I'm going to do my part. And I'm going to let you do your part. Because I can't see all. I can't go with my child. When I'm not with my child, I have to trust that you got them. So
Yep.
I feel that when I drop my kindergarten off to school, I gotta leave it with God and let him, cover him. So
Right. Especially the way the world works, because you would never actually accomplish anything if you allowed your worry to just take place. And a lot of that is anxiety. And that's what I
yeah,
teach my clients is because what anxiety does, it makes you worry about the past, something you can't control, or it makes you worry about something in the future, which you can't control either. So I think your coping mechanism is to, what was your affirmation again?
hey, I cancel worry and I lean into prayer.
Exactly. So using prayer as a coping mechanism and letting go of the worry.
Right.
I
Just
love
talking,
that.
because when you do talk to him, it's like you recognize that, hey, I have an issue. I'm worrying about something. So that's you. It's kind of like you practicing mindfulness at the same time and you're praying. So
There
it's
you
like
go.
double positive.
Yep. And mindfulness does, I'm glad you brought that up. Mindfulness does decrease the worrying because mindfulness keeps you in the present. You're focused on what is in front of you. In therapy, we do this grounded exercise. It's called the five senses. And what it does is like if you're in a parking lot and what I'll give an example. I was going to the doctor and I didn't want my blood pressure to be sky high, but I had just been through traffic. So what the five senses grounding exercise does is you look around and you name five things you smell, five things you see, five things you hear, five things you can touch. And what that does is it makes you present
Right.
versus your mind worrying about where your son is or if your daughter is being taken care of at school or all of that. So that's a coping mechanism you can use to ground yourself anytime you're feeling overstressed. And I see a question out there because I will talk, 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 talk. What are you sharing? What you are sharing is a blessing, Tamarra Holt. I am not a mom, and your affirmation is helpful to me.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I love the grounding. What is it? The exercise that you were talking
It's a grounding exercise. It helps you get in the moment and not. And you can use it for anybody can use it. You don't have to be a mom. It just helps you like get yourself back into the present because a lot of the times with moms, I'm sure y'all are worried about things that haven't even happened, probably won't
about.
happen.
Right. I'm thinking about my child when they're getting married. I'm like, well, how's my child going and how's it going to do in college? I'm like, wait, we're not there yet. Let's just
Eh,
focus on.
right now, the present,
Uh-huh.
like you said, mindfulness. Okay.
Yes, it's
What's
so good.
another what's another affirmation you have?
Um,
And y'all have to go buy the book. I put the link up there. I'm gonna put it up there again.
one that we talked about. Today I choose to give myself grace. Um, And a topic that's really like popular amongst us mom is mom guilt. It's like we feel guilty if we take care of ourselves. Like if I go to the store and I buy myself something and I don't buy my son something, I feel guilty. Not anymore, but that,
You
you
like, I
know,
got it.
yeah, I got that. I think I've overcome that now. But we can be really hard on ourselves. Like I don't know why it happens. It's like as soon as you have a child, it's just like you feel like you got to just give. And if I give
Mm,
something to myself, and it's like, man, I could be giving that to my child. But you can't give your child the world. It's impossible. You have to just be the best you can for them. And that's why the self-care is so important. Like you have to pour into yourself. I think that's like a requirement. I won't go biblically on that, but you have to pour in with self-care because you need to show up as your best self for your child. You know, it's
right.
not taking away from them, it's really adding to them and their experience with you being their mom and preventing them from having such a traumatic childhood, you know, when you're actually taking care of yourself and you're actually working on your mental space. So give
That's
yourself grace. I love that
I
affirmation.
love that one. Yeah, give yourself grace. Y'all hear
Mhm.
that out there? Moms out there who've done this over and over. Did you give yourself that grace? Chime in if you gave yourself that grace during your experience. And that's amazing. I like that one. And what is grace? What does that mean to you?
I think it's just allowing yourself to, well, really, I feel like grace is like unmerited favor. It's not just like a pass. So, like, allow God to bless you, allow yourself to be poured into, allow yourself take care of yourself. It's okay because you deserve that. And just because you have a child don't mean you have to be burdened down and worn out and all those things. Like no, you can be relaxed, you can do the things you desire to do, you can do all those things and still have a great relationship with your child lacking nothing, and you both be whole. So
Yes. That's perfect. And motherhood should be about balance. Like,
yeah.
and I say in any relationship, because it is a relationship, it should
Mhm.
be the balance there. Because if you're not balanced, like you said just a second ago, how can you give to your children if you're unstable because you're worrying so much or you're focused on doing wrong that you're not focused on being present with your children all the time. And I
Mhm.
could see where a mom, not a mom, of course, but I could see where moms would get lost. Why do you think moms stop taking care of themselves? Like stop doing their hair, stop doing makeup, stop doing all of those things. Why do you think that
Because
is?
it's exhausting. And I feel like when you don't, sometimes it could be you have a lack of support.
Okay.
You have a lack of being heard, lack of gratitude. You're giving so much, but your children don't always know how to come back and say thank you. You
Mm.
It's not that you expect them to. I mean, they're kids; they don't know. But it's like such a selfless job. Such a you get tired, you get worn out, you get overwhelmed, and it's like nobody's pouring back into you. It's a constant give, 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 give. So
And it's expected because
yeah,
you're
I just,
MOM. Yeah.
I just do it and don't expect nothing in return. Just do it. Okay. I mean, of course you'll be rewarded, with your child growing up. That's awesome. But in the meantime,
You're
you
not
get
get that constant, you're not
burden.
getting that instant gratification.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
that's tough. That's tough. So anybody pat me on the back because I'm washing laundry at 12 a.m. It's just what I got to do
Right.
because
Right.
I got to come home. I got to clean. I got to make sure my kids are good. And, it is what it is. So, especially the single moms. I mean, I really couldn't imagine. And my heart goes out to single moms who do it on their own. I have a husband, a great support system. But
Hmm.
man, it's already hard enough, even just being mom, let alone doing it by yourself. So,
That yeah, that's got to be hard because you have those negative self-talk all the time. You're not getting any, nobody's giving you any, like you said, pat on the back. You're just constantly going. And then
right.
if your kids are troublemakers, then that's a whole nother set of worries and going to school, especially in these days and times,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So Jenny says, what do you think about being your child's friend?
I think that with any relationship there should be boundaries, and I think that actually can be your child's friend. Um, I really don't see why not. Um,
You said you can.
mm,
Okay. How do you do how do you maintain those, because that's another social role. You're a mom, and so now you're the friend. How do you maintain that balance?
I don't know. Maybe I feel like maybe that happens when you get older. Like
Okay.
we can hang out, we can love each other, we can, stick close to each other. I mean, what is a friend? I don't think it's that deep. I think that, like I said, with any relationship, there should be boundaries.
Right.
And we can hang out, but there's going to be boundaries, period.
Okay. So what about those teenage years? Because I see a lot of teenagers in therapy too, and yeah, they're
I,
different.
I do. I mean, and I like her question because I do see a lot with, the generation coming up and you know, some of the people around me, it's just like, like I said before, it's lack of boundaries. It's like, I don't think you have to use the term so loose, like, oh, that's my friend, that's my best friend. And I think where they go wrong is where they don't have any boundaries with their children. The children disrespect them. The children think they can say anything they want to with their parents. And that's where they go wrong. I feel
Okay.
like be a healthy friendship, but 9 times out of 10 at a certain age, that child probably doesn't fully understand boundaries yet.
Right.
So that's why I feel like, it's probably more of an adult thing to be your child's friend.
So as they start getting older, that's when.
You
What
can
do you
handle,
think? What do you think about letting your child be entitled?
no. I mean, me, I value hard work. Like, I feel like, my parents raised me to work hard.
Hmm.
You like that's just how it is, and I don't want my children to ever feel like something's just going to be given to them or handed to them. Like, you work for it, you earn it. That's just something that fuels me. I like to work for what I get. So no, no.
Okay. So on that aspect, I agree with you. But what about the flip side of where they're just able to explore and ask questions and
And I
because
love.
okay, good. Because in the black family, we're constantly telling, "Don't you do that, Johnny? Don't you?" And what I learned in school is that when we do our kids like that, they're not entitled. So, the guest that I had on last week, he talked about being in a restaurant, and it was him and this white guy, and they weren't getting the service they needed. So
Mhm.
they both walked up to the employee door where it says employees only. He stopped because of his background as a black child. You don't do.
Right,
White guy kept on going back there to get
right,
to get what he wanted, and I thought that was. I feel like if I had children, I would make sure that they felt like they were entitled, not in the way that you were talking about
right,
previously, but the
right.
way that I just mentioned. What do you think about that?
um I want my children to be able to speak up for themselves, and I want them to be able to know that, hey, I deserve this, I deserve that. And
Hmm.
you know I agree. I mean, within reason, your
Right.
child to walk in places where somebody might say, "Well, no, you're a child," but I'm like, no, well, my child has feelings. My child has, they can speak up for themselves.
Right.
So I do, in that sense, yes, I agree with you.
Okay. So Chris says a friend is someone that you can be very transparent with. My mom and I had that relationship, but I was always aware and respectful that she was a mom. So your mom established those boundaries, kind of what you were saying, Tamara, right?
Mm-hmm.
His mom. Okay. Any comment on that?
That was a great example your guest used last week. Okay.
Any
But
comment on your dad's
oh, for me,
statement?
yeah, so
You were reading Karen's. I saw you.
oh yeah, so I agree. I think that I'm pretty sure just from knowing them that they're
Hmm.
relationship as, as him being an adult, because he was able to understand the boundaries and what lines not to cross,
Mhm. Mhm.
so they were able to develop that healthy relationship where they felt like they were friends.
So it's what you were saying is that they as you get older, you can see that friendship clearer because boundaries have already been taught throughout the
Right.
childhood. So
Exactly.
now, as an adult, you understand that these are the boundaries that must be met, even to be your friend. Because nobody's gonna go and cuss out their mom and stuff. They know that that's. Okay, Karen says, I think this is what you was reading. That was a great
Yeah.
example your guest used last week. Yeah, and I that stuck in my head the whole week. Um, because I feel like black parents, we, and I think it comes from slavery, honestly. Y'all can
A lot, a lot of it stems from slavery. I'm always going back to slavery. Like it.
yeah. It's like if you do something bad, I'm going to beat you is the first thing that we, and
Right.
that's the slave mentality that people
This
don't
is,
realize.
mhm.
Yeah.
That shouldn't
And
be. Like, children do not think like we do. We can never expect them to think the way we do. Like, they are children. Their minds do not process like our minds process. They deserve, patience. They deserve to be heard. They deserve, space to learn and grow and make mistakes.
right.
Um, in reason. Yeah.
You said in reason. So what's the in reason? Just there's some
But
things that
within reason, you have to know your child. Period. I
mhm,
mean, you have to know your child. You have to know when they're like, okay, you know better, but you just refuse to do better. And you have to, decide what punishment looks like for you. You know, I won't tell anybody how to raise a child, but you have to
right.
decide what works for your child.
Right.
Um,
So
but
you're saying if they like keep repeating like the same negative behavior, it's like either you're not getting it or you need some help or something is
right.
wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes, like when we say no or when we just shoot to beating them, it can become borderline just abusive. Period.
Right. Like
Because,
especially if they make a mistake, like they
yeah,
knock over something in the kitchen or I've seen parents go ballistic because the child knocked over something, and I'm
mhm,
like, if you did that, would you want to be screamed at as an adult?
exactly. Like it's a mistake, and that's why I think that it's important that we get whole and that we get healed, and then we got like sound reasoning and sound minds. That's why this is so important because we're yelling at our children and screaming at our children, and that's all they're gonna know. That's traumatizing them.
Yep.
Like when my voice, I've been there. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've been perfect Patty mom. No, I've raised my voice. I used to pop my children like too much just from out of anger,
Hmm.
and I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you should just be walking around popping your children just because they get on your nerves or they're annoying you or they make a mistake. Like that is abuse, period. Um,
Hmm.
so I think that, we should just hear our children out and kind of understand the mind of a child, like that is not like an adult, and be patient with them. So
Okay.
anyway,
So how did you come up with the title of your book? Hey Mama, You've Got This. 21 Days Starters for Mom. How did you create that topic or title of your book?
I just wanted something real simple. When I make my post on Instagram, I always greet everybody like, "Hey, mama!" Like, it's something like warm and welcoming, and kind of like, "Hey, I see you." You
Hmm.
know, not alone. Like, I feel like that "Hey, mama" greeting is kind of packed with that. Letting them know they're not alone and simple. You got it. Like, you can do it. And
Hmm.
I know that's the encouragement that I need to hear. So I felt like that title was simple, straightforward, and something that they need to hear. As far as the 21 day starters, I've learned just through reading and everything about the power of affirmations, or really just the power of creating a habit, and that it can take 21 days if you do something
Yep.
consecutively, that you can kind of change a negative mindset to a positive mindset. So that's why I did 21 days uh,
Okay.
specifically, so that in 21 days, they can learn, okay, this is how I should be starting my day. So I'm trying to use this as a tool to kind of like just kind of transform their mindsets. So, oops, excuse me.
Okay. Good. And I had a question and it left my mind. Oh, this is what it is. So you don't even realize that you've written a book that has cognitive behavioral therapy techniques within it. Did you
Hmm.
realize that?
And not to that extent, maybe, but I did. Like, I wanted the 21 days to like transform their minds, like
Yep.
intentionally. Yes.
Because that's what cognitive behavior therapy is. If anybody doesn't know, that's what therapists use in sessions to help clients change their negative thoughts. Because if you start to change people's negative thoughts, they will
Right.
start to feel better. And
Hmm.
so that is what you wrote.
And that is something that I did explain here.
I love it. Yes, go.
In my um it says, according to cosmetic surgeon, this is a whole surgeon, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, it is recommended that people practice self affirmation and positive behaviors for 21 days to make them habitual. And doing so will cause an old negative mental image to dissipate.
Yep.
So, put further information, but you can change your whole mind in 21 days. So,
Yes. Love it. Love it.
mhm.
Jenny got the questions tonight, don't she? Let's
I love
see.
it.
Do you believe in meditation for yourself?
Yes. Honestly, growing up, I always thought, how we grew up. Pentecostal,
Uh-huh.
apostolic,
Mhm.
all which I love, not knocking it, but I for me, I thought that meditation always had to do with like some other religion or like Buddhists doing
Buddha, yeah.
that, like naturally I just connected meditation with like Buddhism or something. I was like, oh, that's weird. Who meditates?
Tina
The
Turner's movie. I don't know if you saw it. Honey Merengue, who Tina
yeah,
Turner.
yes, I remember Angela Bassett, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, I always thought that was taboo, but growing up, reading and kind of like expanding my thought process, I realized that we should be meditating. Even the Bible says like meditate on the word day and night. All of
Mhm.
it is to think on it. And where's my dad? He can chime in. I think he had a good definition of meditation, but just thinking on it. Uh,
Uh-huh.
even the Bible talks about like whatever things are lovely, pure, just, of a good report. Like think on those things. So sit and think on good things. Yes.
Mhm. Peaceful. Yes.
So
And
it's
meditation, I often tell my clients to sit in their emotions
yeah,
because what we do most of the time, we run from our own emotions. And if
mhm,
you do that, yeah, you're not understanding what's happening to you. So if
right.
if you're depressed, but yet you won't take the time to sit down in the chair and say, "What am I feeling? And
Yeah,
why am I feeling this?" You will
right.
never process it because you
Yeah.
always know, I'm not going to sit there. I'm going to go clean the bathroom. Oh, I'm going to go do such and such, do such and such. Sit in those feelings. Go ahead.
Yes. I feel like that's something that we do, like even moms, like I know for me, I'll just go, go, go. And I'm like, I know I'm stressed right now. I know I need a break right now. I know that I have a whole bunch of things on my mind. Like, man, I'm feel like I'm boxed in. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I need to work on some things on my own. Like, all these thoughts in my head, and I just keep going and going and going. It's like it's weighing me down. It's like I'm just suppressing them. Um,
Hmm.
but that's
And they
why,
get heavy when you
yeah,
do that.
really gets heavy, and that's why people lose it. That's why people snap. That's why people feel like I can't do it no more. Well, I think that when we learn techniques like this and we learn to do meditation and we stop and practice mindfulness, that we can actually cope, that we realize, oh, it's not really as hard. I just been doing it wrong.
And y'all make sure y'all go get that book because 21 days, if you're using those affirmations, you will start to change your thoughts and from a negative thought to a more positive thought. Because
Yeah,
all negative thoughts are, they sabotage us. They make us feel bad about ourselves. They make us beat ourselves. And half the time, they are not true. This is a question I want everybody to ask themselves. Do you believe all your thoughts are true? And hey, Candace,
that's good. Hey, Candace. Huh.
do you believe all your thoughts are true? I always stump all my clients with this.
That's
Hey,
good. I have my answer, but
what about y'all out there? Do you believe all your thoughts are true? I used to. Lois says no. Candace says no. No,
no.
but Jenny got
But
a coordinating conjunction on there. But what? Tell us more, Jenny. No. Karina says no. Hey, Karina. Because if you believe all your thoughts are true, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Be-
Yes.
you're going to act out on things that aren't even true. The thing is, I tell my clients all the time, if you have a thought, say for instance, you think somebody don't like you, they've never said it, they've never you had never heard them say it, and they thought you yeah, don't let me miss any things. You
Karen has.
thought they didn't like you,
Mm,
um but that person never said that. So my thing, what I teach my clients is go ask them, because then you'll stop that thought, because that thought, all your thoughts aren't true. So Karen says there are people I have run into in church who think that meditation is not of God. Uh-oh.
mm,
Meditation helps me to stop self-sabotaging and
woo.
helps me to be mindful. You got
Yeah.
anything to say to that, Tamara?
No, that's just good. 'Cause I self sabotage myself. I mean, I've done it. I'm not gonna say I do it as much now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have my moments of self doubt and all that, but I can sit there and self sabotage myself, and I'm like, I've been equipped this whole time. I know I can do it, but I let negative thoughts or lies or the things I listen to other people. I allow what other people say to like take root, and I accept it as fact when it's not. So that's really good. We talked about the meditation part. Clearly, it has nothing to do with the devil or anything.
They used to
Clear-
say that about yoga too. Like all of that, they affiliated that with some kind of demonic
yeah,
worshiping
just
thing.
ignorant. We just didn't know. We just didn't know.
Chris says worrying is a down payment on a problem that you probably never have. Yes,
That is so
that's a
good.
good analogy. Yeah, because what is that worrying doing for you, really?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, it's doing something.
It's
Not.
maybe causing physical and mental
Yeah.
illnesses.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yes. Those illnesses. That's real. But I'm learning to stop worrying. Like, I literally. I know I keep going back to my book, but look.
And that's what you
Um,
should, because that's why we're here. And every
but
time you
look.
do, I pop it up on the screen. Hold on.
The first one is talking about worrying and shaping your worries into prayers or whatever. So I got my scripture, I got my prayer, and then I have a whole section reflecting, saying, what worries and concerns have I not yet handed over to God. So I'm over here, I think this was Tuesday. I was literally worrying about stuff, and I'm like, wait, let me get my book, and I'm writing down all the stuff. Let me not get too close, but all the things carrying, and I'm like, why am I carrying this around? Like, hello, let me write it out.
Hmm.
No, okay, like let me let it out, because I'm like holding this and carrying it for no reason. But let me put it out here. Let me tell God all my concerns, all my worries, and that's it. Here you go, God, you got it.
And that's another CBT technique that you have in that book is getting those thoughts out of here and putting them on a piece of paper will lighten your load. I
Yes.
told you you got CBT.
Look, I need to talk.
Yep, Jenny says that's therapeutic. Therapeutic.
Yep.
Jenny says making you get old fast when you worry. Karen says they still say that about yoga. They do. I've heard that. Candace says even the Bible says we should meditate. Yep, and you mentioned that, Tamara, didn't you?
Yes.
Good
I'm
stuff, y'all.
learning and unlearning. That's the way.
And we always are. We really are. But writing thing, the good thing about your book is that you have that that interchange of thinking and then putting it on paper. That's amazing. That's cognitive behavior therapy. Changing those negative thoughts will make you feel better. Y'all got to go get this book and do a 21-day
Yeah.
challenge for yourself with it, just to see how your old thoughts when you started to where you end, how
Right.
much more positive you're going to be.
Right. That's why, like in my book, I say I look forward to your testimonies, because I'm like, look, tell me how it went for you. It's not really a churchy term. It's just how did it go?
Right.
How 1 days. So I'm believing that people will be changed and their mindsets will be changed. Going in with gratitude, going in giving themselves grace, going in without all that mom guilt and worrying about everything. So trying to change, help us change.
Yeah.
Help us.
Because, I think we're taught subconsciously to worry about things because that's how we protect ourselves.
Right.
Like, if you worry about it, that means you're going to address it and kind of make sure that it gets done, or
Mhm.
that but on the flip side of that, you're creating so much negative, some physical health,
Yeah.
like Chris said, the down payment that you're never going to be able to pay.
Right.
um, and so we do have to get a hold on a capture and make sure that we're maintaining how much we're wearing, because it could lead to physical issues too: high blood
Yeah.
pressure, stress,
It
all of
does.
those things. Yeah.
Stress is a big killer. I mean, you can Google that, look that up. It is like one of the number one, if not the number one killer of all people. So
Yeah.
got to get a hold on that stress and like give your worries to God. However you want to give your worries to, stop holding on to them. So
Okay. Any more questions out there about the book? Make sure you go get your copy. I keep putting the link up there so that you can make sure you get it. I think Tamara should start a group. I told her that before this call started, like a live, or do it in a show fashion, whatever.
mhm.
But I know the people that's been on my show, they love books like yours because they can actually use it to kind of help them through
Right.
problems. And I feel like it's not just a mom, it's anybody that's stressed
That
that.
that's very true. I mean, if the devotional part don't speak to you, everything else will. I mean, it's lined up to where you have your affirmation, your prayer, your scripture. You can write and reflect, and really anybody can relate.
Yeah,
So,
and you see Karen's statement right there.
we love books that help us with writing things down. Awesome. I was debating about the writing space, so I'm glad to hear that.
I'm glad you did do that though,
Yeah.
because that's again a cognitive behavioral
Mhm.
therapy is to journal. You've heard
Yep.
of people saying journal, and that's what you're
Yep.
actually doing. You're journaling because some people get overwhelmed, and I'm sure moms do because it's all in here, and you don't know
Oh,
what to do with it. Yeah. So if you put it onto some document, then you're alleviating that all of that chaos that's going on up here, and it's
yes.
being put onto the paper.
Yep.
We got some stuff. Chris says, when we don't meditate on good things, we usually catastrophize most things. And catastrophizing, let me tell you, that's saying, oh, if I walk out the door, I'm gonna get hit by a car.
Started,
Oh, as soon as I, soon as I go to the store, I'm gonna slip on some liquid that's on the floor.
but that is
Or
I'm guilty. So I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but it's very true.
and catastrophizing, and there's a lot. These are called cognitive distortions. They're thoughts
Yeah.
that we have that are distorted, and
Mhm.
they're not any good for us. But again, they're tied to anxiety.
Yeah.
Catastrophizing is tied to anxiety.
Mhm.
Let's see. Candace says, so proud of you both, and I'm looking forward to getting both of your books. Thank you,
Thank you.
our church sister. That's good. Okay, Jenny, I don't know what, I guess all of the stuff we're talking about. Karen says, I'm not a mom, Tamara. I am positive and I can relate to it. I will buy it.
Thank you, Karen. Look, my dad is actually a preacher, Chris Wilkes. That's he's
There
a
he
whole.
is right there. So good stuff. Any more questions? Is there any problems, moms out there, that y'all wanted to bring to the table that you never talked about or shared that could help a new mom out there, or that Tamara can answer questions on? Because moms have a hard job and people don't give them enough credit. They don't give them enough support.
We don't, and I don't think we even realize. Well, going into it, you don't realize. All you think about is, oh, I'm gonna have a baby shower, and I can't wait to do the nursery, and you know,
The
uh,
glamorous stuff, the
I
fun
know
stuff.
I get a little sleep, but that's okay. I know I can get my full 8 hours, but that's cool. We can do it together, you and your boo or whoever. But we don't think about the fact that our mental space might be jacked up, that we might not get the help we thought we was going to get. that we're going to be go go go, that it'll never end, the worry and the anxiety, different things that'll present themselves. We don't think about that stuff. We don't think about the fact that our time is going to be so different, and that we might not get the time with God, or we might not be able to do practice self-care. None of that stuff. We don't.
Mhm.
It's what was the warning? Say no.
Mhm.
It
And
is.
it's answer me this: is it a lonely process? Even though you
Yeah.
got kids all around and husbands and
That
boyfriends.
is Oh, yeah, that's something that was really unique about this journey that I've realized. More so with my second child, I didn't realize the loneliness that I would feel, despite having my husband there. And he kind of was like, lonely, I'm right here. But the thing is, he's not mom. He's never going to be mom. He doesn't feel
Right.
the I feel. I'm the nurturer. That's not him. So he
Right.
doesn't the weight and the burden is all here.
Mhm.
Realize. So you
And
feel
you're in there by yourself.
yeah, so you're alone in it. You're alone in being mom. You're alone in the things that you're thinking about your children. So it can be lonely in that sense. That's why this community is so important. Community
And
of
I'm
moms.
so proud of you. Yeah, the community of moms. I'm so proud of you that you're focused on that, what we call in therapy, like the population. So your population would be moms
Mhm.
because they need a voice.
Yeah,
And you can bring up topics that they're struggling with, that they're silent about, or that they don't even know what to call it. It's just it's
right.
there. There's this thing. I don't know what it is, but
Hmm.
Tamara just said it. And so the more you do this work, the more you'll be pulling out those things that moms are
Yeah.
secretly struggling with.
Hmm.
And Karen
It's
says, "Congratulations on writing and releasing your book, Tamara Holt."
thank you. See the next comment. Okay.
Yeah, I try to put them up because I'm like, what? Learning how to take time and take care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Point
Yes.
very, very good. Self care.
And I mentioned that a lot here, like about taking care of the whole self. Even my group, I have a Facebook group on Facebook, and it's for
Okay.
your journey to a whole you starts here. That's kind of like the slogan that I have in my group, Hey Mama.
Do you have
Because
that link? Do you have that? You can share it after the thing is over. You
Okay,
can drop
okay,
it in
okay.
there.
But yes, I do have a Facebook group, and I love it. We're on the move. We're growing. Uh, we have another event coming up soon that I'll be announcing soon, so I'm excited about the next event. But we will be having a Zoom in a few weeks. I might have it next week. A Zoom very. But we want to have, like, we're just creating a space so that moms can vent, they can share, and they can know that they're not alone. So yeah, it's going well. I'm excited.
Good, good. And I'm so proud of you, like I said, for doing this work and identifying the need for moms to have a space where they can actually breathe and talk about the things that they're struggling with, you
Right.
know? And so, any more questions? Because we're coming up on an hour. Oh, we do have one more. Jenny says, "Do you think this would help a new mom with postpartum depression?"
Absolutely.
And
Because
tell us a little bit about what that is, what that feels like, postpartum
I know what
depression.
it feels like, because I dealt with it with my first child. I didn't want to be bothered. I was up and down, like literally from moment to moment. And it was like I didn't expect myself to do that. Or I'm like, oh, I'm stronger than that. Or, that was my thoughts. Going into even having a child. I never thought that I would be hit with it. But I didn't really realize it until afterward. When I was starting to come out of it, I'm like, man, I must have been, I must have dealt with it. And I was kind of ashamed to actually tell people that I, dealt with postpartum, because it's like mental illness of any kind, or mental issues
A
of any
stigma. Uh-huh.
taboo.
Mm-hmm.
I would just not want to get my hair done. Um, I didn't want to be around my baby sometimes. I'm just like, I just want
Wow.
to disappear almost. I wasn't suicidal, but I just wanted to like disappear. I didn't want to take care of my baby. I just or when the baby got hurt, it was like extremes. Like when the baby got hurt, I would, be overly emotional, like it's the end of the world. Or, I wouldn't want visitors to come over, even though I wanted them. I would be like, no. So What was? Wait, I'm
Great
random.
question too, Jennifer, because I'm glad you brought this up. But the question is, do you think this would help a new mom with postpartum depression?
So yes, I think that and I cannot stray away from my spiritual side of this because or even just the mental side of it, those affirmations, the scriptures, the prayers, like I believe
Hmm.
in the power of God. Like, when you're reading those scriptures, when you're in his presence, like he's the one who can heal you. He can snatch you out of those things. Like he can do anything. Like, so I think that when you're spending that time in there, especially those first 21 days being at home, it's
Hmm.
not so, your world is literally turned upside down and it's something that you've never experienced before. So I feel like, taking this 21-day journey for a new mom would be something that would keep their mind right. It would renew their mind. It would keep them set on positive things instead of negative because, it's hard.
Hmm.
So absolutely.
And that brings us back to that mindfulness too. It actually connects. And hey, that's what being a mom is, that unpredictability, and you don't have to hide and you don't have to push them away. And hey,
Hello. Okay. Bye.
hey,
Okay, sit
see,
down. All right. All
perfect. Like, see, the last author we had too. Her kids came in. I'm like, don't hold back.
real life.
So, is there any more questions from anybody out in the audience? Great questions that y'all have been sending, great information. Please share this video. There's a lot of important stuff in this video that can help moms. Please go out and get the book. It's a great self help book. There's a lot of cognitive behavior therapy in there, helping you change your negative thoughts to more positive thoughts.
Mhm.
And we all need that
Yeah.
because whether we know it or not, every one of us has those negative ruminating thoughts. Hey, those negative ruminating thoughts happening all the time. And so this is a way to kind of change those negative thoughts. Any more questions or anything like that? Ethan? Hey,
Sorry.
Ethan.
Hello. All right, all right, all
How
right.
are you?
Okay, okay.
Hello,
All right.
Hey,
my name is Ethan
I
Holt.
I I know you. And what's your name?
What's your name, little
He's,
one?
he's
Hey,
like
you.
Kayla Holt.
Okay.
Caleb Hope. Hey, Delisha. But
Hey.
any more questions before we go? Hey, boys, everybody saying hey.
Say hi, boys.
Hi.
Okay.
Hey, Michelle, where you come from?
Hi, Michelle.
What's your name?
My name is Uncle Fred.
It's your Uncle Fred. You'll see him soon. All right.
Yep, you'll see me in July.
Yay! I can't wait.
Your name, Uncle Fred.
Uncle, you're Uncle Fred?
Yes,
I'm almost 6.
I know. I'm shocked.
No,
That
I'm
means I'm 21 still.
no, I'm 20.
He's 20.
You're
You're
20?
younger than my mom.
Yeah.
But this is a mom. This is what moms do. This is what moms have to do, and they have to go with the flow, go with the moment. But what I don't want moms to do is like feel like when their kids like interrupt like this,
Right.
that it's a problem. It's not. It's motherhood. You better promote that book, Ethan. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for joining. Make sure you go get the book. Let me put the book title up there again. And any more questions before we say goodnight? A great show. Thank you, Tamara, for being here. Uh, so excited for your book journey, and I can't wait to see how it all just expands.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Yes,
enjoy. I enjoy.
yes. All right, y'all. Have a good night.